Namaste to all. Cordial welcome to yet another session of Gurukula. On behalf of today, we have Dr. Abdul Karim sir with us, professor in Department of Rasashastra and Bhaishaj Kalpana, Sri Satyasai Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Moradabad, UP, with an extensive and vast teaching experience and also clinical experience, and also very good experience in teaching research methodologies, getting himself involved in many research activities. Today, he will be dealing with the topic research documents in classical literature. Welcome to the session, sir.
Today's topic is research documents in classical literature. As in the last my research class, we have started with the origin of research in Ayurveda, where we have been seen that how the research has been originated in our classical literatures actually. Today, before start the documentation, how our acharyas has given the importance for scientific study. That is going to be explained in the reference of Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana 9th chapter. Here it is telling that Shastram Jyotim Prakashatam Darshanam Buddhiratmanaha Samabhyam Tabhyam Vishat Samyuktabhyam Chikitsan Pragati. Means it is telling that the scientific scriptures provided how they are going to be helpful for us, like light for an illumination, to remove the darkness, how the lights are going to be helpful in the way, and another example similarly has been mentioned, and one's own intellect, like ice. The physician who used the both scientific knowledge as well as the own intellect property. Means here is clearly stating that you should have a background of scientific knowledge which are studied, which are gained from our classical literature to remove the darkness. Means whatever it may be. Means if you want to remove the darkness, means here we should be able to be searching for the light where we are going to gaining the true knowledge with our eyes, by our intellectual eyes. He is going to be specifically is going to be mentioned. He is telling scientific knowledge and own intellect, and specifically so Yuktabhyam. Always, if you go and search in Charasamhita, maximum word as I seen, that is Yukti. Yukti is the one of the beautiful term has been used by Acharya Charaka and made it as it is an open space. Use your brain, use your Yuktis to tackle any sort of conditions. Whatever it may be the problems come, you can able to tackle with your, that is the specialty of that is, so it is going to be mentioned here as a research tools. In our classics also we have a research tools in Charaka Samhita Sutrathana 11th chapter. He is mentioned that so before mentioning also he told that the word has been, two words has been used here. Vividameva Khalu Sarvam Satcha Satcha or Sat Asat. The two terms have been mentioned. That is true and false. The role of research is this much only. The two things will be there that we have to be proved, whether it is a true or it may be a false. Maybe a null hypothesis or an alternative hypothesis. See how beautifully they have been mentioning that the only things we can able to be know that whatever it has done, it has been true or maybe a false. It is going to be fall in these two categories. Tasya Chaturvidam Pariksha. The examination methods has been mentioned for to identify, to gain the knowledge, whether it is a true knowledge or it's a false knowledge. That has mentioned as an four parikshas. First one is been mentioned as Aptopadesha, second one is Pratyaksha, third one is Anumana, and the last one is Yuktishteti has been mentioned. There are like a four things. Why Acharyas mentioned these four and in this order? What is the speciality of this order? Aptopadesha, it is mentioned as an authoritative sages. Apta means the person who will tell a true only, like our sages. So only we are believing them. Sometimes we will believe blindly and we will go forward by using their science, what they have been explained. On that basis, we are going to be doing everything. On that basis, we are definitely we are achieving the knowledge because we are believing that much. So they are called as an. Second one is Pratyaksha, the knowledge by direct perception. We all of you know that what is meant by Pratyaksha. I am not going to be deal deeply these four things here because they are having their own identities in the role of research as an tool how to do the research. Third one is Anumana, that is inference. Fourth one is reasoning capacity. How we should be able to do the reasoning, on what basis we will going to tackle our problems. Next point, it is going to be telling that the qualities of a researcher. So I want to be prove that research is mentioned means we should, how our acharyas mentioned, first they are going to be selecting the researcher himself. If you want to do any research, you should be able to have some proper qualities should be there in him. Then only he should be a good researcher. For that purpose, in Charaka Sutrasthana 9th chapter, some qualities has been mentioned as an Shishya, as an Vaidya, as an researcher. That is Shastram, Shastram. शास्त्राणि सलिलं गुणदोषप्रवृत्तये पात्रपेक्षिणाः प्रज्ञां चिकित्सार्थं विशोधयेत्. That is, in a simple verse, it's telling the merits and demerits of a weapon, scriptures, and the water depends on their users. See, the good effect or the bad effect is all depends on whom the users of that weapon means the characters of a researcher, how it is there. That should be the most important if you want to do any research. That has been going to be, or any Vedas also be. As are a Shishya, who all of people are here, the researchers only that. So the physician should be purify his intellect before treating, or before learning, or before investigating, or to do or any research works. The specific qualities has been going to be mentioned by here in the same chapter, continuation, that is telling that Vidya Vitarka Vijnanam Smriti Tatparata Kriya. Yaste Yasai Te Shadgunastasya Na Sardamiti Vartate. First one is Vidya, learning capacity. Should be a knowledgeous person should be there. Belongs to the same science. If you want to be do any research work means he should be the belongs to the same branch, same fraternity should be he should be there. Vitarka, he should be have a rationality capacity to give the reasoning how we should able to be come over with this or a capacity for any innovative thinkings. That is Vitarka. Vijnana, specific scientific knowledge. Now here in that time duration may, but at present this scientific knowledge is must for each and every person because what we are doing the research is not a new innovation. We are trying to be reprove ourselves. That is called as revalidation, re-establishment of our science. If we give the revalidate our science, definitely that vijnana means here scientific knowledge means the present knowledge of any science we can able to use it and we should have a knowledge of that also. With that, we can able to reprove ourselves. And smriti, that is memory. His memory should be good. And tatparata kriya, the devotion to the performing timely duties. That is training. Tatparata means he should be have engaged for this work only. Means he should be follow his work and he should be a devotee for his work especially. And action, kriya. He is telling. It means kriya means maybe a clinical practice or it may be a pharmaceutical means he should be able to know the proper identity means in every field of research he should be a good practice person should be there. He should be able to know the preparation of formulations. He should be a good clinician. He should be a good diagnostic person should be there means he should have all the qualities should be there. Then only that person can achieve unachieve. That is telling one who possesses these six qualities, nothing remains unachievable for. See how beautifully our acharyas have been mentioned the characters of a researcher or a Vaidya or if you want to consider as Shishya will learn. But a Vaidya and a researchers, these qualities are must because Vaidya is always a student and he is always a researcher for to search every day in his practice day to day new things always. So these are the qualities of a researchers. And as in the last session, we have discussed this is Ayurveda Avatarana Virguna. This is the first and foremost document for the research stated in Ayurveda. As all of you know that one, that is Ayurveda has been originated from, means it has been recalled by Brahma and it has been transferred to Daksha, Daksha to Ashwini, Ashwini to Sahasraksha, Sahasraksha to Atriputra, and from there all the acharyas who are there in that. This is how we started the research. And the next coming here. Now come to the literary part of the research. In the examples, what the documentations we can able to. If you want to be study the literary research, some of the how we should evaluate the books for the literary research means what how we should able to write the books, what are the qualities should be there in that books, how we can able to consider it is a good book. For those, some of the technical modern terminologies has been used to be assessed that how to evaluate these books means are new literary works. It is authoritative or authorship, how should be there, currency or timeliness should be, coverage, or it is the relevance to the subject or not, what is the purpose of writing the book, what is the audiences are going to mention, how much accuracy is there, how much documentation they have been subject to, the matter is objectively as mentioned or not, it is the thoroughness is there or not. Those all things are going to be searched in a book. Then that book has been considered as a good literary work, means good presentation has been done by the author you can able to assess. Like that, we will go and check the in Charaka Samhita. Especially now I am majorly dealing with the Charaka Samhita's literatures, documentations and all. In Charaka Samhita Siddhisthana, 12th chapter, it has been mentioned that Yasya Dvadasha Sahasra is telling that in this book, how many Shlokas are there. That is, the shloka is there here, and the meaning is the person who know this text of 12,000 verses or shlokas and a paragraph by heart. He is the owner of the meanings and thinkers of this treatise as well as the efficient physician. See how the Acharya Charaka confidently telling that if he is know about all these 12,000 slokas. See, not only he is telling the behatting the 12,000 slokas here, along with that he is saying that he will be the that much perfectionist. And another thing in the literary work, he is telling that how many verses are there in this book. Means in a book we can able to no need to count that. Means he is telling that what are the contents, how many shlokas are there, verses are there. Everything it is going to be explaining in this context here. Next it is telling Rogam Tesham Chigisam. It is regarding that he is telling that these therapeutic measures described in this text of Acharya Agniveshas are useful for both for healthy persons and the patients too. That is our aim of that is our objectives of our that what Acharya means. He is telling the purpose of writing this book and for whom. He is telling that the Acharya Agnivesh written the useful for both healthy persons as well as an a patient. That in the first chapter of Hidden Duty of the of Suprasana of Charakas, he will say that Swastasya Swastarakshanam Akurasya Vikarata. This is the sloka of 12th chapter, that is 120th chapter of the Charaka Samhita, where he is justifying that what he told in the beginning and what he is written in the whole book. That is going to be very clearly he is justifying here in this slokas the importance of his own book. And another the speciality of this book is that it is telling that यदि हस्ति तदा नत्र अन्यः हस्ति न तदा क्वचित्. Means what is beautiful words, how the authors are, they are confident and how their works is that much genuine. They are telling that Acharya Agnivesh is telling that whatever knowledge of the medicine is available in this treatise in the Charak Samhita is also present in other texts of Ayurveda. See, whatever is written in Charak Samhita, everything it is present in the other texts of Ayurveda books. And whatsoever knowledge is not available here, whatsoever knowledge is not available here, cannot be found any text of Ayurveda. This indicates the greatness of Charak Samhita. How he can be tell that much confidence in his literary works. Means how much they are thorough, how much they have been researched, and they are written the confidently. Whatever it is written in his book, it is there available in all the books of Charak Samhita, all the books of in Ayurveda. And whatever is not yet written in this book, and that also be not available in the other texts. So this is the speciality of the Charak Samhitas as a literature works also. And here in this sloka, he is mentioning that is Agnivesha Krute Tantre Charaka Pratisamskrute Siddhisthane Asane Prapte. The sloka has been telling. Means the author names he is telling here. If I will able to get it that the author, the original author of the text of Charak Samhita is Acharya Agnivesha, as rephrased by Acharya Charaka, and it is supplemented by Dridabala. Means written by Agnivesha for time being as a decade of the book. Later it has been redacted by Acharya Charaka, and later it has been completed by Acharya Dridabala. That also will come in the next slides that I am going to tell that. And in this chapter, he told mentioned about the reductor means a Pratisamskarana of the book. Means if anything is lapsed, anything is left, anything is missing, where it has been told less, where we need to be expansion and add to new things. That person is known as a reductor or a Pratisamskarana. That is Shloka is given beautifully. Vistareti Leshoktam, Shloka is little bit missed here. Ati Vistaram. Samskarta Kurute Tantram Puranam Chapunarna. The function of a Pratisamskarana or a reductor is reductors who is able to be make the statements elaborated into a concise form, and the concise materials can to be made into be an elaborated form. Once along with that, just not to be elaborate and concise and elaborate, not like that. He is having that capacity also be along with that with the addition of new thoughts in the old work. Whatever the work is already done, in that he is going to be add the present stated of the works, and it puts it in a new version in the funds. What it is present also be it is going the editions. Nowadays also be all the books are available in the market. They are writing the newer editions. Why? Because the matter, word matter will be there. Along with that, the new thoughts, new research works, new works, those are and new ideas they are going to be adding in their books. That is going on till today also. It means what? How the literary works they know in that time duration itself. And about the author, redactor here is telling the shloka here. Regarding the book, he is telling that Tantrottamam it is one of the Uttama Tantra. He is telling that Idam Charakena Ati Buddhina. Means Charaka is one of the most brilliant person. Samskarta Tattva Sampurnam Tribhagena Anupalakshate. Means when this book has been got by Charaka, when he got that, at that time it is an incomplete book. One third portion of the Vibhagena Anupalakshate. Means it's not available. In that time, what is going to happen? He has been completed or who is being completed after the writing the Charaka Samhita is mentioned. तशंकरम भूतपतिम संप्रसादे समापयात. Due to the Lord Shiva's samprasad as a prasada, it is got to the Dudabala. Akhandartam Dudabala Jataha Panchanagapure. Means this has been later because of the Lord Shiva's blessing. This Dudabala has been written. Just we are not saying here as an author's names as a reductors. See here, Panchanadapure, the word has been used. This is telling about the location, the place, the Panchanadapura. It is presently, if it has been searched, it is called as Panjanore in Kashmir, especially, where the five rivers are going to be conjoined. That is called as Panchanadapura. It is there, Panjanore, by the name that it is still available in the place is there in Kashmir regions. Means what? The identification of the time duration as well as the place of a person. Dudabala Jataha. Dudabala's native place is Panchanadapure. See, we are going to be searching his time duration, place from where he has been located. That also be getting through the literary research here. What he did, how he redacted the book that he is mentioning here. Kritva Bahu Abhyasa Tantre Yo Visheshocha Shilochayam. Means what? Simply he didn't redact it. What he done? He Kritva Bahu Abhyaso Tantra. He read the maximum books which are available in his time duration. Already Charak Samhita's lapse is there. One third portion is lapsed. Remaining part is available. But what he has done because of the Lord Shiva's prasada, he has been taken and he is taken that one and make it to be try to be complete that book. How he completed? By Krutva, Bahu Abhyasa. He read more. He read the whatever the books are available. Then he got the Vishesha Shilochayam, means the highest peak of knowledge he got it. After that, he has been redacted the Charaka Samhita. How much he has redacted, that also be explained in the book. That is Sapta Aushadadhyaya. Means what? In Charaka Samhita, Aushadadhyaya means Chikitsa Sthana. In that 13 chapters are available. Sapta Dasha Aushadhyaya means after the 13th, from the 14th chapter to 30th chapter, he has been redacted. That is 17 chapters of Chikitsa Sthana, Aushadadhyaya. Siddhi Kalpayat Purayat means Siddhisthana and Kalpasthana. 12 chapters. Complete Sthana has been written by the completed by the Acharya Dudabala. And this is how searching of the history of a person also be got available. How we gain the knowledge and how we written all those things we can able to be understand by the literary research works has been written in the context in the book. Next come to the this sloka. This sloka is having a very important meaning regarding this book also. Idam nyunam shabdhartam. It is telling that idam nyunam shabdhartam tantradosha varjitam. See here, how much confidently he is telling that in a single word also be it is not written wrong in this nyuna. There is no nyunata. There is no lacuna of the words in this. And this book is divided of Tantra Dosha Vivarjita. And I will come back to that word. Before that, I will finish this sloka here. Shed Vimshatir Vichitrabhir Bhushita Tantra Yukti means this text means Charsamhita contains the 36 Tantra Yuktis has been going to be explained by Acharya Dudabalas here. Because this shloka has been taken from Dudabalas because it's the Siddhisthana's 12th chapter. He has been read up. The word Idam Nyunam Shabdhartam Tantra Dosha Vivarjitam means it is telling that in this book there is no deficient in Shabda words, their meanings, and free from textual blemishes. Tantra doshas means Tantra means a Shastra. If any literature works has been written, in that anything is written wrongly because nowadays we are going to be used as an essay, modern grammar. On that basis, we are going to be search that where the grammatical problem, it may be written in active voice or a passive voice like that. But if you want to be study any shastra, the reader must and should know the technical terminology of. And in this book, he is clearly how he is telling that in this book there is no tantra dosha varjita tantra. This is tantra dosha vivarjitam. There is no single word is means how much they are confidently writing their classical literature, showing that how their literary research is good. That is going to be mentioning here in this context. Next point is coming the referencing styles. The another literary research resources I am going to be want to be shared with you people here. It is a referencing style because nowadays for each and every research papers we should have to write the reference bibliographies. In especially in dissertations, thesis works, we will write both references as well as the bibliographies. How they are representing the references in olden days. That if you're going to be assessed that, if you go and check Charaka Samhita, if you see the Shishruta Samhita, or if you see the Vagbhatas Astanga Hridaya or Sangraha, in the end of it, we will neglect that portion. After the finishing the chapters, we won't check that what is written in there and that because there is no use of that one, that part. But in the context of referencing or in writing a bibliography, this is how much they are beautifully mentioned here. See here, we generally will know that yeah, I am giving one example of Charakas here. Itya Agnivesha Krute Tantre Charaka Pratisamskarate अप्र प्राप्ते दृढबले दृढबलं सम्पूरिते कल्पस्थाने मदनकल्पो नामः प्रथमो अध्यायः. See, in references, what you write generally in nowadays in if you come to the Karnataka, if you argue the Rajiv Gandhi University is going to be following the Vancouver style by mentioning the referencing. If you are going to check the Vancouver style and the Agniveshas or Charaka Samhitas, the referencing style is almost the similar. First, in Vancouver style, it is mentioned right about the author name. Then after that, he is going to mention about the book book name, then the editors are the redactors are going to be mentioning, then later it is going to become to the publisher place, publisher name, and place of publication, year of publication. The next it will come to the volume, how many volumes are in which volume, which sthana, which chapter, which shloka, and lastly the page number and password page, the PP. P and PP, those are going to be mentioned in the Vancouver style. Several referencing style are there, like API is there, MLA is there, Chicago style is there. In that, Vancouver style is more popular, especially in Karnataka, for medical students who are going to be doing the research in the context. Here, say, Agnivesha Krute Tantre. The author name, the original author name is Agnivesha. Tantre. Tantre means here, Charaka Samhita has going to be written by him and it is redacted by Charaka, Acharya Charaka. Pratisamskarana has been done. And again, it has been completed by Jodabhala. And because the publishers at that time, time duration, they maybe don't have, the authors will be only right, or some things are going to be reprinted that one. But what they did, whatever it is written in the old granthas, the same way they have been made it to be reprinted. But after that, see here, he is mentioning the which sthana, kalpasthana, which chapter, Madana Kalpanama Adhyaya. We have what is the number of the chapter? That is Pratamo Adhyaya. Like that, beautifully, if you go and check that, same Vancouver style is going to be available in the context, how to mention our referencing. And same example I want to take here, a little bit changed by Shishruta. In Shishruta Samhita, how you mentioned, इति सुश्रुत संहिता संहिताया संहिताम् उत्तरतन्त्रम् अंतर्गते कायचिकित्से तन्त्रे हिक्का प्रचौषधो नामाः द्वादशो अध्याय अति पंचशत उत्तमो अध्याय शतमो अध्यायः means thus ends the 15th chapter by the name of Hikka Pradesha in Pratisheda in Uttara Tantra of Shishruta Samhita. So here also he is mentioned in which book it is there, in which tantra and which topic. Kaya Chikitsa Tantra. Especially in Uttara Tantra, we will get the Shishrutas regarding the Kaya Chikitsa part has been going to be mentioned. In that, which disease? Hikka Pratisheda, Namaha Adhyayaha. Dwadasha, the chapter number is, sorry, Panchashato Adhyayaha. That is the 15th chapter name has been going to be mentioned. By Shishrutas, another way of presenting style that is there. And if you come to the Vagbhata style there, here it is mentioning. Generally, we have a difference between the bibliography and a references. This is a light marked difference will be there in a referencing and a bibliography. Bibliography is the thing, whatever the books we are being searched in our research works, whatever the books we have been searched regarding them, where we are going to be mentioning, we have searched so many of books, but way of writing will be the same. Author name, book name, everything we are going to be mentioning, rather than the specific reference from where we have been chosen. That is the difference will be there from referencing and the bibliographies especially. And in the case of Vagbhatacharya, he is telling that uh, iti Agnikarma Vidhi Namaha Chatvarimsha Adhyaya. He is telling that Agnikarma Nama chapter has been finishing. That is 24th chapter has mentioned. And he is giving the some of the background of his family also in this context. Sri here. Iti Sri Simhagupta Sun Sri Srimad Vagbhatacharya Virachita Ashtanga Sangrahe Pratama Sutra Sthana Sampurnam. Means what? He is telling iti Sri Simhagupta Sun. Means what? He is the son of Sri Simhagupta. It's understood that here. What? The father name of Vagbhatacharya is Simhagupta. And he is written and he is the author of Ashtanga Sangraha, Virachita Ashtanga Sangraha, and he is going to be completing his first sthana, Sutra Sthana is going to be complete. Like this, if I go on searching now, we will get so many literary research materials, how we should able to write the books that we can able to be study in this context. These are the some examples. And one major portion is in literary research. To understand the Shastra means compulsory we have to know about the Tantra Yuktis. Without reading the Tantra Yuktis, it's like a foolishness for a reader. If he don't know the Tantra Yuktis, he is a waste fellow because he won't understand completely, because some of the hidden things which are being written by the acharyas in our classical literatures, it can be understood through Tantra Yuktis only. According to Charaka Samhita, in this context, it is mentioned as an 36. According to Vagbata, I think 32, and according to Shishvata, it is 30. And according to Harishchandra, it is first 40. But that is, he is the first commentator on Charaka Samhita, Bhattar Harishchandra. That in that book, he mentioned the 40 Tantra Yuktis. Means it is understanding that the literature has been, the commentary has been written before the Dudagala. Because if Acharya Tar Harishchandra is telling that he is having a 40 Tantra Yuktis, means before in Agnivesha Tantra, after that redacted by the Charakas, in that book, he's got the 40 Tantra Yuktis. But later, after the reading the complete knowledge gaining by the Dudagala, and he made it to an 36. This is an literary history, how we can able to understand the time duration of Vagbatas and Bhattar Harishchandras. Maybe he will be the before to him. And Tantra Yuktis are must. Regarding the Tantra Yuktis and their importance, which has been explained in the Charaka Siddhisthana 12th chapter, what is the importance of all the Tantra Yuktis, which has been explained. In some books, Tantra Yuktis are used less, some are used more. Like that. All the Tantra Yuktis, we won't get it in each and every book. That is the thing which has been explained by Acharya Charaka in his context of Tantra Yuktis. Now come to the next part, pharmaceutical research. How the pharmaceutical research has been examples we can able to take it. Now here I am going to writing about the formula, nomenclature of the formula. How we can able to do the nomenclature of the formulations. How our acharyas has been done the nomenclature. For that purpose, one reference has been mentioned in Kalpasthana 12th chapter. He is telling that the Pradhana Dravyam, he is telling the nomenclature of the combination are always in the name of main ingredient. Means which is the first and most or an key ingredient of that formulation. On that basis also be you can able to be nomenclature can be given, naming the formulation. And this is one thing, as we observed, whatever the formulas, whatever the yogas are explained in our classicals, all are mentioned on the basis of action of the drug, all are mentioned on the basis of the inventor, and the first nomenclature, first drug of the formulation. On the actions, name of the inventors, and the action of the drugs, and the first drug of the formulations. On that basis, we can nomenclate the name of the drug, especially. So, he is in this sloka is telling the nomenclature of the combination are always in the name of main ingredient. The remaining ingredients in the formulation will boost, regulate, and they act in accordance to the main ingredients similar to the followers of the king. This is simile also we is telling. See, in one kingdom, we are going to be taking not each and every person's names, but we will going to take that the king name always. Means this, we won't see take the followers name, followers of the king. Means what? The drug which is there as a, like a king, that is going to be is given a one small simile has been mentioned here for the nomenclature of the drugs. Next point, next research has been mentioned in this context here or pharmaceutically. Viruddha Veera drugs, how we should be able to use, where we should be able to, how, what is the role of those Viruddha Veeras? Because Viruddha Veeras should not be used in the formulations where it going to be causes for the so many side effects, or maybe it should be act as an opposite. For that purpose, how the opposite quality drugs has should be used in the formulations or any drugs. This when the Viruddha Veera drugs or medicines are added in the formulation, we shall not impair the action of main ingredient. Addition of ingredients with similar properties will enrich the action of the formulation. As I said, the main key ingredient will be there. Name on that means other drugs are going to be adding acting as a associate drugs for them. If you want to be add the Viruddha Virya, there also be, it should not impair the action of the main ingredient and tell. And the rationality behind for that using the Viruddha Virya Dravas is telling that here Ishtavarna Rasasparsha Gandhartham Prati Chayana. Means what it is telling that the using of the Viruddha Virya Dravas, opposing quality drugs or medicines are going to use medicines along with the main drug are to impart the pleasant color, good taste, agreeable smell, and touch, and the relation to the specific disorders. That should be able to be a reason we should can able to use such a Viruddha Viradravas in the context of making formulations. See here, he is giving an idea for us. He is open, leaving the platform for us in future. How you can able to prepare the formulation, how you can able to give the nomenclature of the formulations of your own combinations. That it is going to be explained. This is a research platform. So he is openly telling that you do it. It is yours. Everything is how you should do that. I will give an example. Next, come to the how to increase the quality of the drugs. It is going to be mentioned here. How to increase the potency of a drugs. Here it is telling that the quality and action of drugs or medications can be enhanced by the proper trituration with either Sorasa or a kata of the same drug or of the other drugs, medicines with similar qualities and the action. This method also potentiate the or multidimensional action of the preparations. Means what? Increase the potency. How? If little bit example I will tell you. If any formulations are there with you people, those drugs are kept for longer durations. Still, it is having any shelf life. At that time, whether you have the doubt that having a little bit shelf life is there, how I should be able to increase the potency. This is a good example, how to increase the potency. And other than that, so many formulations also be given in our literatures where with the same drug and with the same source or in the same kata has been added and triturated for several times. Lagu Susheka rasa has been given in Rasayana preparations. Amlaki Rasayanas has been repeatedly has been done with the Amlakasa Rasa Bhavanas has been mentioned. Choshat Pipali Rasayana has been explained where it is also be repeated with the same key ingredient have been added and given the Bhavana drugs. Why? Because to increase the potency of the drugs. And especially I am practicing where if I am having an old Rasosha are having a longer duration of shelf life, where I want to increase the potency, I want to be activate. What I will do, Bhavana Drabha has been going to be given, from which the Rasosha has been prepared, that Vasma has been prepared, and we have to give the saturate, Bhavana give it, and if you want to give Puta, you can give it Puta again, and then you can able to be use it to increase the potency of the drug here also. That also he is giving an example for us. And some of the scope for research for farming formulation. This is a beautiful example has been given by Charaka. For to make thousand, not thousands, he is telling that Sahasra Koti, close together formulations you can able to prepare. I given just an example. Anybody, a foolish person is there who will give 600 formulations and telling that these are only the examples. See here, in the context of Kalpasthana especially deals with Kamana and Virechana Yogas. In that Kalpasthana, he is explained about the 600 formulations. So 245 Vamaka Yogas and 355 Virechana Yogas he has been explained. Almost all the yogas has been explained is an eatable form. It is a beautiful dishes which are regularly we are, and especially in the festival time durations, sweets whatever we will prepare all those things has been explained, and he is telling that at last these are the examples for you. 600 formulations. He is telling that Pradesha Matrada Drashtvahim Shat Shatam. 600 yogas he has been explained. After that, he is telling Swabuddhaiva, telling use your own brain. He is telling that use your own brain. That is telling that yukti here and make it. स्वदैव सहस्राणि कोटिर्व्यापि प्रकल्पयेत् बहुद्रव्य विकल्पाद्य न vidyate. Means it is telling that 600 formulations are mentioned in Kalpastana are practically experienced combination for the use purpose. Such thousands or crores of combinations can be planned and prepared by the wise physicians with his own intellectual and experience. There is no limit for forming a new formulations as there exists a wide scope of for multiple drug combinations. See, who is the person? See, in Charaka, after telling 600 yogas in Kalpastana for Romana and Virachanas, after telling that you can prepare with your own formulation. Whatever the things he told, leave it according to wish of a patient, according to your wish, which is very compatible for the patients to be consumed, taste, everything according to him, you should be able to be prepare and give it to the patient. He is going to be explaining how this pharmaceutical science is going to be mentioned by Charakas here. And another beautiful quotation has been given in the context of formulations to be preparations. अल्पस्यापि महत्तार्थं प्रभूतस्य अल्पकर्णता कुर्यात् संयोग विश्लेष काल संस्कार युक्तिभिः. See, everywhere the word yuktis are coming in the context of literary or in the context of pharmaceutical or it may be in later clinical also be all where the yukti is the most weapon where we can able to solve each and every problem by doing our research. In that context, we can use it by the combination and separation of medicines. That is Samyoga and Vishlesha, Kala, Samskara, and Yukti. One can modify the potency of medicaments. Thereby, minute dose can produce the greater benefits and vice versa. Use of that is Alpasyapi Mahattartham. Maybe dose may be smaller, but it's going to act as an a bigger. That is going to be explained. How? That's all depends on the how we can able to be follow. This is about the pharmaceutical. Some of the examples. So many yogas are there where he is going to telling that how to prepare, how to follow. Each and every examples has been explained for us in a research, and we has kept for open for us. Next, come to the clinical research. In clinical research, if we are go on searching, it is getting a wide protocols for us. Especially, I taken some of the examples from the chapters of Vimanasthana, 8th chapter. I'll request if anybody interested to know about the how research has been mentioned, that has been going to be explained by Charakacharya. Everyone should read the Vimanasthana 8th chapter. In this, he mentioned one clinical protocol, especially how a clinician or a clinical researcher is going to be doing the clinical research, how he should be able to understand what he should do. Everything it is a step-by-step process has been explained in the context of Vimanasthana 8th chapter. First, he will start with the Shastra and Shastra Adhyayana. He should be able to telling that first you understand the Shastra, how who should read the Shastra. That is the qualities of a person, how should be able to be. Those things from there he has to be starting. Because when a person is selecting an Ayurveda as an his future means, they should be able to know that how the science should be select and should be able to be adopted in our day-to-day life followings. Beautifully, it has been mentioned. The whole chapter is research based as a clinical protocol only. In that, some points have been taken. Here, 10 means of knowledge are investigations for a Vaidya or a researcher that has been explained. That is Karana, cause to be identified. Karana, means or equipments to be find out that cause here is using. Karyayoni, that is the sources from where he are going to be collected. Karya, what he has to do in that research work. Karyaphala, expected outcome, how they should be expect, and what are the things he should be do for that. Anubandha, what are the consequences can able to become in his research. Desha, that is the place from where means research is always depends on in which area, which field we are going to do. Means the surveys we should be able to do for that, where which place we have to select for a specific cause for that disease or any problem that we have to do that. And Kala, time required for the transformation, that is, and Pravritti, consistent efforts what he is going to do, and at last the Upaya, means of successful management. How should be able to be managed means what? First, we should be able to hear a problem is there, area is there. Each and everything he is going to be telling here. How to do the research process. At last, means of successful management means how we should be able to a protocol have to be prepared. How a dissertation work has to be right from beginning to be end. That is going to be making here to be understand. Next, come to the some other examples. That is, examinations have been mentioned in Vimanasthana 4th chapter. He is mentioning about the Trividam Khalu Roga Vishesha Vijnanam Bhavati Taddata Aptapadesha Pratyaksha Anumanam Cheti. Means three types of examinations. We have to know that several types of examinations, Dvida Pariksha, Trivida Pariksha, Saptavida Pariksha, Dashavida Pariksha, Ekadasha Pariksha, everything it is going to be explained in our classes. For what purpose? To be understand what is the cause is there, how to be get to know about the person's details. What we will do in research context, we have to be know all these things. When you write the protocol, you are going to do the examination of the patients. All the examination, how we should do, what we should be able to ask, what we can able to assess in that everything that is going to be mentioned. And all these things we will gain by these three only. By Aptopadesha, by Pratyaksha Jnana, by Anumana Prakara, Anumana, by reasoning. Then only we can able to, after learning these three, after gaining the Aptopadesha from our gurus, then we have to be absorbed by Pratyaksha, direct perception. We should be able to do practically. Then in our time when we are doing the research in that time that anumana can be adopted what pratyaksha jnana we gain through that one only we can able to be continue the our research work by with the help of anumana here and some of the examinations has been mentioned applied aspects of 10 topics investigations in medicines like the Shveda Parikshas has been explained that is Prakriti test of constitutions Vikruti pathological investigation Sara, investigation of the body strength. Samhanana, investigation for the compactness of the body. Pramana, the investigation for the proportionate relation of the different organs. Satma, investigation of the innovation. Sattva, investigation of mental state. Ahara, investigation of for intake and digestive capacity. Vyayama, body powers, investigations. Vaya, that is investigation of age. These are the 10 investigations. Dashavida Parikshas is going to be explaining. If you understand completely this, we can able to be treat the patient properly. How these 10 only they have been selected. If you think that how their research mind is there, how they are going to be adopting all these things, and on that basis they are going to be treating the patients. In clinically research, we have to be use all these Dashavida Parikshas. Other than that, in that chapter, he mentioned about the Kala time and the Sara Pariksha, that is seven Saras are there, Tapsara, Raktasara, Mamsara and all. Their examination has been told. And he mentioned about the Upayas, the eighth chapter of Vimanasthana, from the beginning to the end. If you make it that one, no, it is becoming on a protocol for a clinical research purpose. We can able to prepare our own protocol, clinical protocol. That is Upaya, plan, line of treatments. In this chapter, he is going to explain about the all Panchakarmas in a briefly. The reason importance of as a reductors, as I mentioned that vistarity leshoktam means elaborated material can be concise. He concised it here. He adopted that temporarily here and he planned that and he mentioned about the all panchakarma procedure. After that, he mentioned about the whatever the medications can be used for all panchakarma procedure. This has been mentioned as an line. And the last we have to write as an upasamhara. Upasamhara means conclusion. See here, all the things he is going to be mentioning, whatever the requirements are there in our clinical research protocol. And along with this, one point has been left that has been covering in that chapter itself only. That is method of conducting a discussion in seminar and symposium of experts. See, in the research papers, we will write the one major portion that is called as the discussion part. That the discussion part also be given by our acharyas. How to do the discussion, from where we have to do, with whom we have to do. Hmm? Everything they have been classically and clearly they have proper idea how we should do the research. Everything they have been properly mentioned by Acharya Charaka in the chapter of Vimanasthana 8. I will read the here. Henceforth, I shall expound the method of discussion. Physician should discuss with physicians, discussion with experts, promote the pursuit and advantage of advancement of knowledge, provides electricity, improves the power of speaking, eliminates fame, removes the doubts in scriptures, if any, by repeatedly listening the topics and creates confidence with the doubtless knowledge, brings forth some new ideas, shadows unknown. The reasons is that whatever the secret ideas and are gradually delivered by the teachers are placed over the devoted disciple. The same are expressed by him in enthusiasm during the discussion in order to gain the victory. Hence, the expert's recommended discussion with the specialist. See how he is telling that what is the importance of discussion in this context. So, we are going to be writing in our dissertation works, in thesis works, or any research works. Discussion is the most important. In our classics, the two types of the discussions has been mentioned. That is called as Tadvidya Sambhasha. In Tadvidya Sambhasha, there are two Sambhashas are there. One is Sandhya Sambhasha and second one is Vigraha Sambhasha. That is called as one is friendly discussion, second one is hostile discussion. Sandhya Sambhasha is a friendly discussion and Vigraha Sambhasha is known as hostile discussion. And next he is telling that. And regarding this, in the eighth chapter, very deeply they have been elaborated what is meant by friendly discussion, what is meant by hostile discussions. There. Next come to the another point in that only in discussion. Types of assemblies. Where discussion we have to do, with whom we have to do the discussion. That is telling called as an assembly, that is called as an parishad. There are two types of parishad has been mentioned. That is called as Jnanavati Parishad and Muda Parishad, that is learned and ignorant peoples. Two types of peoples have been classified here. Jnanavati persons, they are called as learned, and the Muda Parishad is considered as an ignorant people. Again, from the other point of view, it is once again made it on three types, that is friendly, natural, and prejudiced. Means in each, in Jnanavati also be these are the three types, and Muda also be three types. Jnanavati means who are belongs to the same fraternity, they are having the knowledge regarding our subjects. Such peoples, the Muda peoples means they ignorant peoples. They want to be oppose you. They want to be sure that you are wrong. Such peoples are also be there in the context. Such peoples where so only we have where to decide that where we have to be discuss or to do the with the assembly. After the assembly and next again types of debates that also be explained in the context. How we should able to debate in the discussion part. There are also be two types. There are around 44 types of Vadas has been explained. Vada Margas has been explained. Out of that, these are the two main debates that is called as Jalpa Vada and Vitanda Vada. Jalpa means friendly will be there. Vitanda means Vigraha, the opposite which is going to be talked. These are the two Vadas majorly we are going to see. And the next point is mentioned about the guidelines are results of debate. How what is the importance of debate is telling that the result of the discussion should be recorded like this. This is worth speaking. This is not worth speaking. Therefore, one has to be defeated. How we should be able to conclude our debate. That also be they have been going to be explained in the context of these things. And in the literary research, this is clinically. And in the literary research, I didn't mention one point is that is this how Ayurveda Avatarana has been gathered and they become make it in a conference. Like that examples, still more there, especially in Sutrasthana Vatakala Kali Adhyaya. Several acharyas have been get together. And they are going to be discussing regarding the Vata's importance. And another example is there in the Palamatra Siddhi Adhyaya in Siddhisthana 11th chapter, where they are going to be discussing about the which Dravya is Shrestha in the species. All the acharyas have been around 6 to 7 acharyas will come, and each and everyone is going to tell one drug and their importance, and is telling to the other person your drug is having a less superiority because of this property. After hearing all the things, at last Atreya Punarvasi is going to conclude that Madanaphala is one of the best Basti Dravya, as going to be used in the Basti Dravyas, especially by telling the properties which are not there. Everything it is present in the Madanaphala. And conclusion. See, we will conduct the seminars, we will conduct the national conferences. All the same method of procedures, all are going to be explained in the Charaka Samhita itself only. That is the specialty of writing the way of Acharya's Charaka. And another part I kept left here in experimental research is empty. because of my lack of time and my ignorance it is happened here. In the experimental research, if you go through in Charaka Samhita as well as in Ashtanga Hridaya or in Sushruta Samhita also be, in Ashtanga Hridaya, especially I think in Sutrasthana, Annapana, I think in Sutrasthana itself only there is an examples has been given. They are going to testing the food to the animals. They are going to be keeping because in olden days, for the king especially, before giving his food, they are going to be given to the some animals, especially they have been chosen animals because to identify that whether the drug is that food is contaminated with the poisons. Like that, several examples have been explained by in our classical literature. By that also we can understand that in olden time durations also they are doing the experimental studies to know that which type because in Hridaya it is clearly mentioned that by giving which food to any specific animal or a bird, their activities are going to be changes. Specific medicine means specific poison with a specific reaction is going to be seen in the animals. Those are going to be seen mentioned in our classical literature as an experimental studies which have been conducted. And another thing in Shastra, if you come to know that one, there they are going to be identifying the metal. I don't know. The metal is going to be, I got it. So it is going to be burned on the fire. It emits a specific color. On that basis, also we can able to be identify the color of the metal. That is a specific character. That is in present modern science. That is flame photometry. The same principle is adopting. On that basis, they are going to be identifying the metal detections by seeing the flame photometry. Photometry is nothing but the colors which is going to be emitted in the fire especially. That is also be explained by in Shastra classical literatures to be identifying the materials. Thank you, Anindra.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Karim sir, for an exhaustive presentation. One or two questions before we finally end off the session. So you mentioned right at the beginning, like a student is the researcher, and nowadays being a teacher in research and also Rashastra Vaishesha Kalpana, you being a teacher who have taught many subjects. How would you see student as a researcher? So what qualities as a teacher would you expect in the student?
Here, two things will come, sir. Before I should tell to about the student, we in Charaka told that the qualities of a teacher also. This is the first thing we have to be understand in this context because nowadays what is going
Absolutely,
to happen?
absolutely, Karim sir. So next question was the same thing. So would you also consider teacher as a researcher? So because teacher is also in the process of teaching, he learns many things, he interprets many things, and brings out many things. Do you consider? So you can club both those questions.
Yes, yes, yes. Because first of all, especially a teacher should meet who is going to be teach. He should having some quality. Then only it is possible to be identifying such a student. Nowadays, as I seen, I am teaching in different colleges. When I go and visit there and all, people are more prone only towards their examination purpose, not specifically they want to be learned how the interest, how the peoples are there in olden days. As my consideration, they will hear some extent only, not more than that. After that, they will think that what is the use of this subject. When I started to teach the research, and especially for this presentation, I took my maximum time to put a single slide also. Why? Because I am reading and reading. Just time when I am go on reading, I am searching a newer things on. But in nowadays students, that the time is not there. That quality is what our acharyas told, and even I am telling openly as I am a teacher that those qualities also be completely lost there. It's an
Absolutely,
open
sir.
fact.
Absolutely. It
I
is
am
a given,
openly telling.
absolutely. It is a give and take mechanism where the teacher gives and student takes. Many times the students also give some extraordinary ideas through their questions
Yes,
and their thought
definitely,
process.
definitely, sir.
That is also a food for thoughts for teachers to go and explore the subjects more and learn more. So that is
Yes,
very important. Thank you there,
yes,
sir.
sir.
And one more question is about Pratisamskarana. So you added a very important point there. Isn't it a tough process like Pratisamskarana? So like Agnivesha, Charaka, Drudabala you mentioned in chronology. Then doesn't the thought process change from when it comes from Agnivesha to Charaka, Charaka to Drudabala, Drudabala to somebody other Acharya and some other person? So because Charaka might not think like Agnivesha. So like Drudabala might not think like Charaka. So when we see these things, and also Chakrapani, Acharya Chakrapani has interpreted in his commentary. So doesn't the thought process change between different acharyas while doing this Pratisamskarana?
Yes, sir, definitely, sir, because it's not, and it is clearly knowing fact that, sir, it is not so easy to write a commentary on Charaka. Now, only in 20th century, only we are getting the n number of books on Charaka's comment because the first commentary is written by, as I said, that is written by Acharya Vatar Harishchandra, and in the even in that, if I read the history in that time duration, nobody have a guts to tell a comment on Charaka Samhita as a single word.
Mhm.
This is the speciality of Charaka. No one have it that much best. But gradually, when it has been broke by Acharya Vatar Harishchandra, gradually it's a time duration. As I said, you that the Tantra Yuktis said by Vatar Harishchandra is 40. Drudabala has mentioned as a 36. Means what? It has been written before the Drudabala itself only. According to me, means whatever I have learned, the Vatar Harishchandra time duration is 4th century BC, sir. And but Gurukula's time duration is 4th century AD. The gap is
Oh,
the same.
yeah, my thought process, my question was, so since dosha varjitam has been written,
Yes, sir.
so Charaka
Yes, sir.
Samhita, when the
Sir.
thought process changes between acharya to acharya, who decides that there is no dosha in the shastra among them? Because by the time it comes to Dridabala or later acharyas, they may add the dosha to the shastra, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Or should we
If you
consider
that
that,
one is
only the right person who has a similar understanding and mentality, like thought process, should come and redact those samhitas?
so only in Charaksamhita, Drodabala has been mentioned that who knows Tantra Yuktis, who knows perfectly the Tantra Yuktis, that person only can understand complete Shastra. Clearly, statement is there in Siddhisana 12 chapters. And he mentioned that who don't know the Shastra means he don't know the Tantra Yuktis. If you read the Tantra, he mentioned one example. If that such fellow, if you given a weapon, it's an chances to harm himself only. Later he will cure the patient. Before that only he can't able to use that instrument properly. So
So
means
the
what?
so the redactor is equally important like the main author.
Yes, sir,
And
definitely.
also the commentator, they should understand the thought process of the original author.
Yes, sir, 100% sure. Because only there it is mentioned that, sir, I mentioned that Bahu Shastrabhyo has been Krutva studied
Mhm,
in the redacted. For that he didn't direct whatever the books are available in the time duration of Drudabalas, whatever it may be there, every book have been read. He understand the concept. He get know
mhm.
each and everything. Then only he has been made it to be taken a work that he will complete the Charaka.
Okay,
Generally,
nice there, sir. So we'll take the last two questions here. So before we finish, as you mentioned, this titration and other processes to increase the potency of the medicine. So here, can we consider that after doing this titration, bhavana and other procedures with the same swarasa and other things, will the medicine be equally efficient, like similar to the double dose of the same medicine?
and here one concept another is going to come, sir. If you repeatedly titration by doing, what is going to happen? The size of a medicament is also be reduced. That is
Mm.
bhavanam, that is mardhanam gunavardhanam. As we probably we will say that. What is going to happen? Anyhow, the same potency of a medication, Sarasa is adding, and we are making it even a double dose. It is going to be double saturated automatically. One thing. The second important thing is that by doing the triturations, the size of the particle is still go on reduce. That is the
So,
speciality.
so instead of giving double dose, we can give the single dose which has been subjected to titration.
Yes, sir, definitely we can make it that. That's an yukti of an Ayurveda.
Okay, so that means all medicines can be converted to that particular form. So wherein large doses are required. So we go for multiple titrations and give them.
Yes, sir, we can make it, but formulations, especially, should be there in a churna form. In that only you can able to make. If not, it is not at all possible for other things.
What
If it is
about
in a
medicines?
dry condition.
What about
Dry condition.
medicines? What about medicines where the avartas are given like Kshirabala 101, etc.?
Yes, sir. There, that is an increase in the potency of the medication. Same thing has been repeating, no, sir.
So in small dose, the medicine will work equivalent to a larger dose.
Yeah, yeah. So only Alpasya Muhurtatvam, that is depends on samskara, vishlesha, kala, and all those things they have been mentioned.
So
To reduce the dose.
last question of the day, sir. So like Trivida Pariksha you mentioned, and initially Charaka also includes Yukti. Why Yukti has been excluded from Trivida Pariksha? Is it because Trivida Pariksha is itself the base and the root for Yukti?
Yes, definitely. Because if you know the Aptopadesha, if you know the Pratyaksha Jnana, and by that he can adopting the Anumana means. And in these three also, after having all these three also, is not working for us. What we should do? There, it is going to be work.
Okay, thank you there.
Sir, it is not the question, sir. I want to add something to the question which you have asked right now.
Please.
Sir, that what you said, Yukti he didn't add because so Yukti is after knowing the patient, it is the thing which a doctor need to apply on the patient.
That was exactly my question, sir. So it
Yes.
was the question on behalf of our audience, like our
Yes.
participants. The question was
Yes.
exactly that. So Pratyaksha,
Yes.
Anumana, and Aptopadesha are the foundations for Yukti. So yes or no? That was the question. Exactly. I think you also pointed to the same thing. Anything
Yes,
to
sir.
add, sir?
No, sir, nothing, sir. It was very nice to hear, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you. Goodbye, namaste, and plenty of love from Easy Ayurveda. Namaste.